Have you ever wondered what it all means? The performance, the character, the story? Sometimes it's not about the big emotions, the shouting, the tears. Sometimes the real power is in what's held back. It's in the quiet, the stillness. This is the world of the Stoic actor. It's a choice, a path they walk. They choose to build characters not from outward displays, but from an inner core of strength, a foundation of control. It's a different kind of reality, one where every subtle glance, every controlled breath, tells a deeper story than 1,000 words. These performers are masters of a specific craft. They understand that true strength isn't always loud. It's the calm in the middle of the storm, the unwavering gaze that sees through the chaos. Their performances are composed, deliberate, and deeply controlled. They don't just play a character. They inhabit a state of being, a philosophy of existence where emotion is a tool, not a master. They show us that power can be found in reserve, in the quiet intensity that draws you in and makes you question what you're really seeing. Today we're going to unplug from the noise and look at the code behind these performances. We're exploring the actors who have become synonymous with this on-screen stoicism. They are the architects of calm, the silent giants of Hollywood who command the screen with an understated authority that is both captivating and profound. We'll look at 5 of the best, the ones who have mastered this art form and left a permanent mark on cinema. The question is, are you ready to see how deep the rabbit hole goes? You look at my work and you might see a pattern, a choice. From Neo in The Matrix to John Wick, there's a thread of stillness, of a man who has seen the system for what it is and chooses to move through it with a certain resolve. It's not about being emotionless, it's about understanding the emotion, processing it, and not letting it control the outcome. Neo doesn't panic when the bullets fly. He sees the code, the underlying reality, and he bends it. He chooses to believe, and that belief manifests as a profound calm, a control over his own world. It's a reflection of an inner journey, a man waking up to his own potential. This path isn't accidental, it's a deliberate construction of character. Think of John Wick. He's a man of immense grief, of pure, focused rage, but it's a controlled rage. It's not wild and chaotic, it's a quiet, methodical storm. Every action is precise, every movement has a purpose. The stoicism isn't a lack of feeling, it's the container for an ocean of it. It's the discipline that allows him to navigate a world of violence without being consumed by it. He feels everything, but he channels it into a single point of focus. That's where the power lies. Even in roles like Constantine, there's a world weariness, a resignation to a fate he didn't choose but must endure. He's seen heaven and hell, and he walks between them with a cynical calm. This isn't emptiness, it's a fullness of experience that leaves little room for surprise or panic. The character understands the rules of the game even if he hates them. The Stoic performance is about showing that understanding, that deep knowledge not through words but through being. It's a state of existence, a quiet rebellion against the chaos of the world. Before many others, there was a man who defined the archetype: Clint Eastwood. He didn't just play a character, he carved a new one out of the dust of the Old West. The man with no name wasn't just a role, it was a philosophy on screen. He was a force of nature, as inevitable and unmovable as the desert landscape itself. He spoke little because words were unnecessary. His presence, his squint, the cigarillo held tight in his jaw, that was his dialogue. He communicated everything through an economy of action and a deep, unshakable composure. This wasn't just a Western trope, it was a masterclass in stoic presence. His characters, from the dusty plains to the gritty streets of San Francisco as Dirty Harry, operate on their own code. They are men who have seen the worst of humanity and have distilled their worldview into a simple, hard-edged pragmatism. They don't waste energy on outrage or despair. They observe, they assess, and they act. This control is their armor. It's what allows them to face down criminals, corruption, and their own mortality without flinching. It's a power born from experience and a profound self-reliance. Eastwood's direction often mirrors his acting style, lean, efficient, and devoid of unnecessary flourish. He understands that the most powerful moments are often the quietest ones. The long, silent standoff before the draw, the steady gaze that sizes up an opponent. He taught generations of filmgoers and actors that you don't need to shout to be heard. Sometimes, the most commanding voice in the room is the one that says the least. The one that lets its actions write the story, leaving no doubt about the outcome. Then you have an entirely different kind of architect. Daniel Day-Lewis. His stillness is not one of quiet cool, but of immense coiled intensity. It's the calm of a predator, the absolute focus of a master craftsman. When you watch him, you're not just seeing an actor, you're witnessing a complete transformation. He builds his characters from the inside out, and that internal world is often one of deep, reserved, and sometimes terrifying control. His stoicism is a vessel for a universe of unspoken thought and feeling, a quiet so dense it feels like it could collapse in on itself. Look at his performance as Reynolds Woodcock in Phantom Thread. Here is a man whose entire life is built on precision, control, and an almost monastic dedication to his craft. His stoicism is his shield, protecting his delicate artistic sensibilities from the chaos of the outside world, especially from the messiness of human emotion. Every gesture is measured, every word is chosen with surgical care. The tension doesn't come from what he says, but from the vast, unspoken landscape of his needs and frustrations, a landscape you can feel simmering just beneath that impeccably tailored surface. Or consider his role as Lincoln. He doesn't portray the president as a booming orator, but as a weary, thoughtful man burdened by the weight of a nation. The power is in his quiet moments of contemplation, the gentle, almost hesitant way he tells a story, the deep sadness in his eyes. It's a stoicism born of immense responsibility and profound empathy. Day-Lewis shows us that stillness isn't a single note. It can be menacing, it can be fragile, and it can be deeply, heartbreakingly human. It's a choice to contain a storm, and he is a master of showing you the storm without ever letting it break free. There is a presence that commands a room without raising its voice, a kind of gravity. Denzel Washington possesses this in abundance. His brand of stoicism is one of quiet, unshakable authority. It's the confidence of a man who knows his own mind, who has a moral compass that is fixed and true. His characters often face incredible adversity, corruption, and violence, but they meet it with a centered, powerful composure. This isn't the coldness of a machine, it's the warmth of a deeply held conviction, a fire that burns steadily within. Think of his role in The Equalizer. Robert McCall is a man trying to live a quiet life, but he cannot stand by in the face of injustice. When he acts, it is not with explosive rage, but with a calm, methodical, and utterly devastating precision. He assesses the room, times his watch, and executes his plan with a focus that is almost meditative. The stoicism here is a tool of justice, a way of channeling his formidable skills without being controlled by the anger the situation provokes. He is the calm eye of his own hurricane. This powerful screen presence is visible across his filmography. In Man on Fire, even as his character Creasy is on a brutal path of revenge, there are moments of profound stillness and control that make his eventual violence all the more impactful. In The Tragedy of Macbeth, his Lord Macbeth is a man wrestling with his ambition, and Washington portrays this internal war with a simmering, controlled intensity. He shows us that stoicism can be a moral force, a sign of intellectual and spiritual strength that is more powerful than any physical threat. It's the authority of knowing who you are, no matter what the world throws at you. The new generation has its own interpreters of the code. Ryan Gosling is a prime example. His stoicism is of a different flavor. It's modern, subtle, and deeply internal. He often plays characters who are men of few words, whose emotional lives are written on their faces in the most minute, almost imperceptible ways. His performances are a study in minimalism. He trusts the audience to see what's happening behind the eyes, to feel the weight of what's unsaid. It's the stoicism of the quiet man in the corner, the one you underestimate until it's too late. In Drive, his character, the driver, is almost a ghost. He exists in the spaces between words, in long, silent car rides through the neon-lit city. His calm is his identity. It's a mask, but it's also his reality. He's a man who performs a function, and his emotional detachment is necessary for survival. Yet, through a subtle glance or a slight tensing of his jaw, Gosling communicates a deep well of loneliness and a yearning for connection. It's a masterclass in showing, not telling, proving that a whole story can be told in a single, sustained look. This style continues in films like Blade Runner 2049. As Officer K, he portrays a character grappling with his own identity, his own humanity. The world around him is loud and chaotic, but he moves through it with a programmed, reserved demeanor. The entire emotional arc of the character is an internal journey, a quiet, desperate search for meaning. Gosling's performance is the anchor. He proves that stoicism isn't just for tough guys or men of action. It can be the language of the lost, the lonely, and the contemplative, making it one of the most relatable and poignant forms of the craft. So, what is the takeaway? What is the truth behind the performance? It's that stoicism on screen is not an absence of emotion, but a mastery of it. These actors, Reeves, Eastwood, Day-Lewis, Washington, and Gosling, are not playing blank slates. They are painting intricate portraits using a limited, subtle palette. They choose to build characters from a place of inner strength, control, and deep thought. They understand that a quiet gaze can be more powerful than a scream, and a moment of stillness can convey more than a page of dialogue. It's a different system of communication, one that respects the intelligence of the audience. They have each, in their own way, become masters of this art. From the mythical calm of the one to the gritty resolve of the man with no name, from the coiled intensity of the master craftsman to the quiet authority of the righteous man and the subtle interior of the modern wanderer. They've shown us that there are many paths to the same truth, that true strength is often found not in the noise but in the silence. They invite us to look closer, to listen to what isn't being said, and to find the story within the stillness. This is just our selection, our interpretation of the code. The system is vast, and there are other architects of this style out there. Now, we want to hear from you. Who is your favorite Stoic actor? Who did we miss? Go down to the comments and share your choice, your own piece of the puzzle. Let us know who you think has truly mastered the art of on-screen stoicism. Thank you for taking this journey with us. Remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. There's always another layer to peel back.